All right. As this healthcare, this whole debate and ruckus continues about the whole healthcare system in this country, we mustn't forget that in the final analysis, it's really about what we've been shouting about for the past year or so, and what people and doctors before us have said over and over again. The WHO says it this way: there are two obstacles to vibrant health and longevity: ignorance and complacency. In the final analysis, what will help this nation, what will help the world health-wise, and even economically, because health plays such a huge part in economic prosperity, what will help us as nations and as countries, as people, is really increasing our health literacy. Knowing about nutrition, knowing about the mind, knowing about our spiritual parts. And that's what we're trying to do with these webinars. And specifically in the area of weight loss, I just want to mention this before I get to that. What makes us fall ill? And there are several reasons for that, really. But when it comes to the fundamentals, the things, the processes that are at work underneath the surface, you can really point to about four or five things. One, of course, is free radical damage. We've all heard about antioxidants. Number two is inflammation. That's responsible for so many cancers and heart disease and strokes and all that. Also, insulin resistance. That's becoming very popular now. As we grow older, of necessity, our cells become more resistant to insulin, and that results in a lot of nasty things. And of course, toxin accumulation, which is one of the reasons why we really like having Rick on to talk about toxins and all that. But here's the thing, folks. Those four things are exacerbated. They are aided and abetted by excess weight and excess fat in the body. And we've had, I think it was a week or so ago, Dr. Cates spoke about optimizing health and wellness through body composition, and he did a great job. He showed a lot of research findings and all those things. I personally have done a class on fat loss and maintaining a healthy body weight, and we kind of looked at it from several different angles. But you know what, folks? It's one thing to talk about research. It's another thing to talk about theory and facts and figures and all that. It's another thing entirely when you have a system that is in place that has been proven to actually produce those results, and you have pictures and testimonials that show that this system that people are using is working. And that's why we are so glad to have our guest on tonight, Robin Freytag. And she's going to be talking about the weight loss system that her company, Wyora, has put in place. And we're going to show this slide later on. But just to mention, if you were invited onto this call by a Wyora distributor and you want to get the products, please get back with the person who invited you to the call. Very, very important. What we've done is that if you're not interested in being a distributor, you're not interested in doing anything, you just want to give it a try, you just want to buy the products and try, we have supplied our number, because that's kind of like what we do with many of our webinars. We kind of like join the company, and then we have a number. So if people want to buy at a discounted price without the commitment of being a member, they can use our number. It's all for you. It's right there, and again, we'll type it in for you. You can use our number to buy it, to call the headquarter company and buy the products for yourself. If you have any questions, you can speak with Mark and Dee Dee Skipper. Their number is 918-245-7996, and their website is ncdworks.com. So we want to make it as seamless and as easy for you to just take your pick from there. Okay. It's not about us, it's about tonight, it's about Robin. So in a minute, Sherry is going to read Robin's bio, and then we're going to be handing it over to Robin. Okay, so Sherry, go ahead.
Okay. Robin Freytag serves as Wyora's Senior Marketing Manager. Robin has not only been with Wyora since its inception, She's been instrumental in developing much of Wyora's marketing message and has partnered over the years with dozens of biochemists and R&D specialists to develop many of Wyora's products, including EDN, Essential Heart Complex, PSA Defense, Plus, or PSA Defense Plus, I guess, Women's Essentials, Fast to Sleep Strips, hopefully nobody has those on during the webinar, and the entire Skin Sense line, and now the new WayFit weight loss system, which we will be learning about tonight. Robin, are you there?
I sure am.
Okay, we'll hand it over to you.
Well, first I want to say thank you so very much for the opportunity to join your folks this evening. It's truly a pleasure. Obviously, with our nights seemingly getting shorter and shorter, taking time out of your evening to share it with me is phenomenally appreciated. And when it comes to a topic like weight loss, it definitely seems to be something that's on the forefront of people's minds. So thank you so much for that opportunity.
Well, Robin, and thank you again. I know you put a lot of work into this on this weight loss system for about almost 2 years now.
Yes, sir. That is accurate.
Oh wow! So that's you put a lot into this. Well, my question, and I know we're going to get into this, but this has nagged me for quite a while. When I first came to this country 8 years ago, I met this really a big guy in the school I was going to, and he was really big. I mean, I tell you, this is block out the sun big, really big shot. And after a while, he went on a diet, and he lost a lot of weight. I tell you, it got to the point when I was beginning to be worried as to whether he would be able to cast a shadow. But that went on for a while, and then a few days later, I saw him again, and he was back to his normal, the first size which I saw him. And that seems to be a story that is all too common here and around the world. So my question, I know you're going to get into it again, but my question is, how is this system that you've put in place, is it sustainable?
Absolutely, it's sustainable. It's sustainable. It's realistic. It can be accomplished. You know, you can accomplish the goals that you set forth with the program. You know, in a short while, we're going to get into what really makes the system different from other programs. But I think one of the main things that makes it different, that helps to ensure not just success, but what I would say more long-term success, is that instead of just trying to find something that helps people to lose weight, it is attacking and targeting some of the key things that cause people to lose weight. And by doing that, by attacking the problem, educating people about the problem, it not only addresses it at the area where the problem is being caused, but it also puts people in the position to be making smarter choices. You know, as you're going to see when we get into this dialogue, you know, there are a number of factors that we believe are contributing a great deal to weight gain. One of them does have to do with toxins. It has to do with an underperforming digestive system. It has to do with a metabolic system that's starting to slow down. And then obviously it has to do with poor food choices. And
Robin?
Yes, ma'am.
Robin, I hate to interrupt you. We've had several people typing in that they're having a really hard time hearing you, that you're clear, but your voice is really low and soft. Could you try to maybe, if you've got a headset or a microphone, maybe move it closer to your mouth and try to talk a little bit louder?
Yeah, no problem. I will do my darndest. In going back to David's question, it's a fair question to ask. I mean, anybody that has struggled with trying to lose weight probably has tried an awful lot of different programs. It's not just one, and chances are they've invested not just money, you know, but heartache and emotion and effort into trying to see results. What I believe makes this program that we're going to talk about tonight, WayFit, different from a lot of the other programs that are in the market, is that it targets some of the main things that contribute to weight gain. You know, instead of just trying to throw something out there that might say just speed up your metabolism, we've tried to target and attack the things that contribute to weight gain, whether it's, you know, a colon that's not healthy, a digestive system that is underperforming, you know, things that have gotten impacted along your intestinal tract, your metabolic system that is starting to slow down, or poor food choices that are obviously affecting an urge to eat unhealthily or an urge to not be able to control your appetite. And what I think we've put together is a fairly simple program of products that truly attacks the main things that cause weight gain to help you to see not just results, but to sustain success with weight loss.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to it. Sherry, are you?
Very much.
Okay. No pressure.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Robin. Robin, you just have the floor. You can dance with it at your own pace. I'll just interrupt or ask a clarification question from time to time.
Okay. I'm running into some issues here getting these slides advanced, so let's go ahead and get started. When it comes to weight loss, you know, there are those among us that would focus on numerical implications, and they might turn their attention to statistics like what you're seeing on your screen right now, whether it's the 142 million Americans that are overweight, the 63.3 million obese persons that are reflected in this slide. You know, they might shake their head in disgust at the looming projections for the future as we're seeing illustrated here by the year 2015. And they might even point to the 300,000 deaths or extra $100 billion annual expenditures as motivation for change. And the truth is their point is valid. The problem is they're missing the big picture. You know, I suppose that we could drill this information down just a little bit further, and we could focus on looking at a slide by slide, or rather a state by state problem. You know, as this map from the Centers of Disease Control is depicting for us, what you're seeing in front of you is kind of reflecting by color code states within the U.S. that have 15 to 30 or more % of their state's population obese. And while, once again, the numbers and the statistics are correct, we're not dealing with numbers. We're dealing with people. And when you're discussing the subject of weight, you're venturing into a topic that is emotional at the very least. Folks, it is clearly time for a reality check. As we've demonstrated with our previous slides, issues with our weight have permeated every state, every demographic, and every socioeconomic group. And regardless of how many pounds you're trying to lose, whether it's 50 pounds, 15 pounds, or 5 pounds, it's a personal challenge that you're forced to fight very publicly, which is great, I suppose, when things are working in your favor, but it's not so good when things start to slide backwards. You know, you can't help but appreciate the significant toll that it's taking, not just on your self-esteem and your confidence, but on your emotions and your outlook, and even a somewhat physical toll when your knees are popping and cracking and your back aches and you find yourself out of breath after walking up a single flight of stairs. Now, if you find yourself shaking your breath in agreement, or shaking your head rather in agreement, take comfort in the knowledge that you're not alone. Many of us have tried at least one weight loss program, be it a product, a meal, a clinic, or a support group, and have seen limited, if any, success. Now, the reason, quite frankly, is that many programs set us up to fail. And let's talk about why. Well, most diet programs are unrealistic and inflexible. They require you to, quite frankly, do too much work. You've got to count calories, you've got to weigh your food, you've got to stick to this very strict diet, and it's one that you're likely not going to be able to maintain. Not to mention you've got to attend public meetings, which further compound the guilt when you suffer a setback. Many weight loss programs fail because, as we said earlier, they treat the symptom, not the problem. Now, if we target some of the factors that do contribute to weight gain, like the toxic sludge that I mentioned earlier, things that are building up over time, a failing metabolism, an overburdened digestive system, or poor food choices, this can make all the difference in the world to your long-term success. And we're going to talk further about the new system that we're going to discuss tonight. WayFit does that. Now, something else to mention, there has got to, I mean absolutely positively, has got to be some kind of flexibility in your weight loss program. Anyone who has ever participated in a weight loss endeavor can speak to this, because in spite of your preparation and your best efforts, something, life quite frankly, just happens. You could be staying up late to help your daughter with a homework assignment that miraculously materialized Sunday evening. Your son's football game ran late. You had to attend a dinner party for your husband's work. You stayed late at the office to work on a project. No matter the conflict, just know that the unexpected, much like life, will happen. Now, to help you realize your individual weight loss goal, we've created WayFit. This is the system that you're seeing on your screen right now. Now, in comparison to some of the other weight loss programs on the market, and simply based on the results that we've not only seen achieved, but results that we have seen maintained in our pilot studies, we truly believe that this weight loss program, WayFit, is not only one of the simplest programs you're ever going to use to lose weight. We believe it could, quite frankly, be the last. And you could ask me, well, Robin, how is it that you can speak so confidently about this? Well, as David alluded earlier, we have spent 2 years laboring, very lovingly, of course, over perfecting each of these components. Every formula is combining the most natural and effective blends that we have available. And we're going to talk about some of these blends in just a short while. It's leveraging ingredients that have a proven track record, and once again, we're going to discuss those. And it is focused on products that respond synergistically. That is, each of these products were actually designed to work together to help you to be able to lose weight. Now, let's delve into what makes the WayFit line different from other products that are in the market. As I may have said earlier, it's our belief that one of the things that makes this program very different is it works with your life and not against it. And by that I mean you can simply, easily, and seamlessly integrate the products that we're going to talk about tonight into your daily routine without, quite frankly, much effort or inconvenience. Again, as we mentioned previously, the system is going to help to promote long-term weight loss success because it targets the main contributors of weight gain. And we mentioned some of these. That is your underperforming digestive system, a sluggish metabolic system, making poor food choices, and quite frankly, out-of-control portions. Best of all, WayFit is a program that is designed for real people. You saw this as the first slide from earlier. This is for real people. It creates real success. Now, you've probably heard or you've read, or maybe you've even seen stories of folks that went to crazy, I'm talking painstaking lengths to lose weight. And while they should be commended for their results, because they absolutely should, let's face it, folks, not everybody is capable of weight loss boot camp. That's why WayFit works. So if you're someone that's trying to lose 50 pounds and you're struggling with the motivation and the willpower to try and do so, it's a program that's going to work for you. If you're someone that has 10 or 15 pounds to lose, it's going to provide maybe the motivation that you need to along with that additional energy and that stamina and that appetite control that you need to break through that plateau to lose that last 10 pounds. Or if you're someone that's just looking to tighten and to tone things, it's going to provide you a metabolic boost and help fuel your workout and preserve your lean muscle mass. The bottom line is, we believe that WayFit offers something, offers a little something for everybody. Sorry, guys, I'm moving in the wrong direction here. All right, keep going. Okay, so once again, here's the system that we were talking about, the new weight loss system. as we mentioned previously, this system is combining 3 products. This is what you're seeing here. Up in the top right-hand corner is our first component. That's our cleanse system, and we're gonna talk about that very, very shortly. Down kind of to the center and to the left is the cornerstone of this line. That's our WayFit Burn product. That's a metabolic enhancer, and again, so much more, and we'll discuss that. And then the last component is our meal replacement. Chocolate and vanilla flavored, and we'll talk about that later. But first, what I want to do is I want to address a question that we're often asked, which is these products that you have these products been tested? And the answer is yes. We've tested this in a couple of different fashions. Like all of the products that we offer within our line, whether it's NCD or it's EDN or it's a Garagold or a Skin line. Each of the component within this line has been tested just to make sure that there aren't any impurities or contaminants within either a blend or an individual ingredient. And while I'm sure that's important to you and that's impressive to you, you're probably a lot more interested in the results of our pilot study. So I want to turn our attention there. Now, last July, we invited some folks from our home office to test the weight loss products that we're talking about tonight over a period of 6 months. And I want to share with you some of their impressive results. Now, over a period of 6 months, we had 9 individuals that lost a combined total of 265 pounds, 43 BMI points, 160 inches, and 50 sizes. Now, folks, if you do the math here, that's an average of over 30 pounds per person, and at a rate of 5 pounds drop per month over a period of 6 months, it's a healthy amount to lose, and it's likely amount that it will be able to be sustained, unlike other quick, unhealthy programs. And there's a few more things that I want to mention as it relates to this pilot study that makes these results even more meaningful to me, and it's important that you know them. The first of which is these 9 folks that we had in the office that were testing the products. We didn't provide them meals, so we couldn't control what they ate. You know, we asked them to keep a journal so they could start paying attention to what they were eating and get a sense of how much they were eating, but ultimately they controlled their own nutritional consumption. We also didn't have our meal replacement available, the meal replacement that we're going to talk about tonight, so there wasn't an opportunity to replace a meal with this protein shakes, and maybe that doesn't seem like a big deal to you, but I assure you, for some other folks that bring weight loss products to market, when they stand on the mountaintop and they scream to you the results that they've had and the success they've had, it's often because they've had their folks replace at least 1, maybe 2 meals with a meal replacement. So to have these folks losing 265 pounds and 160 inches without the replacement of any meals with a meal replacement and without skipping any meals is pretty doggone impressive. And the last thing that I'm going to mention to you is that we launched this program, we launched this pilot study in the middle of a summer toward the latter end, went through all of the holidays. You've got all of tailgate season, if you will. You've got Thanksgiving and all of your Christmas and all of the other holidays that you might be celebrating. And in spite of all of that, we saw these successful results. So it's important to me that you be aware of it, because I've got to tell you that to me makes these results even more impressive.
And these people didn't have a gun. These people didn't have a gun to their heads telling them not to eat the extra turkey during Thanksgiving.
That is correct. You know, much to our chagrin, you know, we would have liked to chase them around and make sure that they didn't have an extra helping of stuffing or have too much gravy on their mashed potatoes. But no, we did not do that. You know, we tried to educate them on how to make smart food choices. When we got a sense of, you know, particular cravings that people had, we tried to help them make smarter choices to still help them to accomplish the craving, because obviously, let's be real, you can't completely cut off things altogether, but you can do what you can to make smarter choices so that you can make a more healthy indulgence, so you don't completely feel like you're cutting yourself off from the things that you enjoy. And I think because of having done some of those things, we were able to maintain a good bit of the amount of the success that we saw with the program. So what I'd like to do is, instead of just kind of talking around these results, let's go ahead and take a look at a few of the stories. The first person I'd like you to meet is my friend Nancy. She's a pretty incredible young lady here. She's a 60-year-old tax specialist, and up until about a year ago, Nancy was an active and fairly outgoing woman. But then her daughter and her grandchildren move away, and when they moved, her motivation for being active and being healthy, it took its toll. She found herself depressed and disappointed and quite unhealthy. But I am thrilled to report that after the Way Fit program that we're discussing here tonight, Nancy is in a much, much better place. I bet you now she's more than 36 pounds down. She's dropped 7 BMI points. She's 20 inches down. She's 6 sizes smaller and has not only achieved significant success in being more comfortable looking at herself in the morning, she just found that she's got a lot more energy and she feels a lot more healthy and is certainly in a better position to be chasing her grandchildren or children around when they come down to visit. I'd also like you to meet my friend Heath. Now, Heath is a gem of a man and a talented customer service professional at our office. By 36 years of age, my friend Heath here had mastered the art of procrastination, he tells me, especially when it comes to anything that would require him to be active in any sense of the word. And as you can appreciate, his physical, his mental, and his emotional well-being suffered. But he got committed, he got real, and after 6 months on the program, he lost more than 46 pounds. He's dropped more than 6 BMI points. He's more than 26 inches smaller, and because he's about 8 sizes smaller, his wife has had to go out and buy him a whole new wardrobe. So I think he's pleased about the results. I don't know that she's quite so happy that she's going to buy him all new clothes. The last person whose story I'd like to share with you is Christina, and I have to be honest with you folks, I think her story is my favorite of all the stories to share. Christina is a phenomenal young lady that, like many of us, found herself enduring quite a bit of heartache and personal loss. She found herself defeated and deflated, and well, like many of us, she turned to food for comfort. And this, of course, only compounded the problem with her weight and added to her guilt. And as a result, her weight and her size has escalated, and her self-esteem and her confidence plummeted. As she confided in me, she found herself disengaged from all the things that were important to her, and she probably would have continued down the path had she not taken note of the toll it was taking on her son. And as a result of that, she got committed to the program, got herself in the gym a couple days during the week, and made smarter food choices. And Christina is now 27 pounds lighter. She's 20 inches smaller. She's 6 sizes leaner. And this woman is truly a force to be reckoned with, as you can see in her picture there. There's a confidence in her step and a glow in her eyes, and most importantly, a commitment to maintain the change. And she really, really has. I bet you now she's even over 30 pounds down. She looks great, and her son can't be more proud of the success that he's seen her mom experience. Folks, there's so many more stories to share, but for now I want to turn our attention back to the components again. We're going to start our discussion delving deeper into this program with the first component in the system. That's that Cleanse Start program up in that top right corner. Before we talk about that, I want to spend a minute talking about why cleansing is important. Now, cleansing is key for a number of reasons. First of all, there's certain foods that our bodies can't break down properly, or at least maybe break down in its entirety. This is largely because the health of our digestive system has become compromised, either through illness or toxins or fatigue or injury. And when this happens, things get trapped inside of us. Quite frankly, they can actually get pasted to the inside of our intestinal wall. And there's few things that can help rid that debris. And likewise, when our liver's ability to metabolize fats break down, this accumulates with the accumulation of fats around the liver, and then when that runs out of space, it starts to attach fat to other organs. Now, as you can appreciate, the bottom line is this manifests as an expanding waistline, that proverbial midsection spread that none of us like. And aside from this obvious blow to the way that we see ourselves, this obvious blow to our vanity. The truth is, when our digestive system suffers, so too does our body's ability to absorb nutrients from food or targeted supplements. Anything that you do becomes hampered when your digestive system is not able to properly perform. So what kind of benefits can you expect from the cleansing component of the program? That Cleanse Start, that 7-day program, that first step in this line, there's a couple of things that you can expect to see. First of all, it's going to promote regularity, which is absolutely key. It's going to support healthy digestion, which, as we just saw, is very important to how your body is able to absorb nutrients from the vitamins and the foods and the other things that you take into your system. It's also going to help to manage your appetite, and certainly it's going to help to support the health of your liver and your colon, which, as we've already mentioned, is pretty doggone important. There's a couple of ingredients that we're going to talk about. Make no mistake, there are quite a number of ingredients in this cleanse capsule, but for our purpose this evening, I want to focus on 6 specific ingredients that are pretty powerful and each in their own right provide some pretty significant benefits. The first is Cascara sagrada. Now, Cascara sagrada, the word itself is Spanish, and it means sacred bark. And I suppose it's got a good reason for being called this, in that it has quite a significant history of use. It's a laxative that was used by the Native American groups in the Northwest Pacific Coast, that is, and it was introduced into formal medical practice in the U.S. in 1877, and in fact, it replaced the European buckthorn berry as the official laxative of choice in 1890. It's believed to provide a multitude of benefits, including alleviating mild constipation, providing cleansing benefits to your colon, helping to increase the secretions of your liver and pancreas to help to improve your digestive function, and has a similar purging property to senna without some of the harsh properties that can sometimes be associated with senna. Moving on to yucca root. Now, yucca root is a phenomenally impressive ingredient. You know, it's high in vitamins A, B, and C, and there's a whole host of minerals, including potassium and calcium and iron and manganese and copper. And it's the combination of these ingredients that, quite frankly, make it very soothing to the intestinal tract. And anytime you're going through a cleansing program, believe you me, you can appreciate some soothing benefits to your intestinal tract. You know, in addition, there's some constituents within it that encourage the growth of healthy bacteria to help to balance the bacteria in your colon and to help to inhibit the growth of bad bacteria. It's also able to help to discourage the tendency to develop the accumulation of some of those undigested toxic waste that we discussed earlier, which tend to decompose in the colon. So again, it's another truly phenomenal ingredient. Moving on to one of the ingredients that help to support your liver is the milk thistle leaf. Now, the milk thistle leaf is actually derived from a flowering plant from the daisy family, and it's been used by herbalists for well over 2,000 years to treat chronic liver disease and to protect the liver against toxins. Now, I got to tell you, that being said, most people, when we talk about creating a cleansing program, and you know, in fact, even within the office when we were first developing this formula, and I mentioned that in addition to the ingredients that we were looking at for this cleansing capsule, I wanted to put in some ingredients that help to support the liver. I had a few folks kind of sitting back in their chairs looking at me, scratching their heads, going, Rob, that doesn't make sense. Well, the bottom line is, you know, most people tend to disregard the role of the liver in weight reduction. But not only is your liver the largest internal organ, it's responsible for performing more than 500 different chemical functions, and happens to be one of the most powerful allies that your body has when it comes to, you know, excessive fat as fuel. You know, your liver, quite frankly, is acting as the body's washing machine. It is working constantly to clean and to remove internal toxins. These are toxins that your body produces through metabolism, you know, and it's trying to remove external toxins. Those are produced obviously from outside sources and things you come in contact with through food, through water, through air, just through breathing and through life. You know, not to mention your liver is helping to stabilize sugar levels. and when these things get out of whack, that's when you start having those crazy food cravings, and and you've got spikes in your appetite. This milk thistle herb, is helping to accelerate the fat removal from the liver, and it's even believed to help to lower your cholesterol. It works as a decongestant, so it's going to help to encourage the proper flow of bile in the liver and the gallbladder, and it's rich in a number of constituents to improve the health of your liver and to actually stimulate the production of healthy liver cells. The next ingredient that I want to mention is pau de arco bark. Now this bark is derived from the inner bark of a tree native to Brazil. It's got a crystalline oxygen that's actually locked into the inner bark, which is again rich in a number of nutrients, including vitamins A, B, and C, and minerals like magnesium and potassium and sodium and iron and calcium and selenium and zinc. It's a combination of these ingredients that help contribute to what is believed to be an antibacterial, an antiviral, and even an antifungal benefit that help to make this a powerful, even immune stimulant, helping to fight against conditions like candida. There are many experts that believe that the cleansing action provided by this pau de arco bark is phenomenal for helping to relieve some of the intestinal infection that might occur from poor food choices, and it's also believed to help to restore some of the vitality to your colon. The next ingredient I want to mention is our yellow dock root. The yellow dock root, again, another ingredient that is helping preserve the health of your liver. It's a powerful blood purifier, and it's used primarily to cleanse some of the colons that are in the body. This particular ingredient, believe it or not, became powerful during the Industrial Revolution, just because of all of the environmental pollutants that were seen during this time. This ingredient has also been known to help to stimulate a bowel movement after a few hours of use, helping again to rid some of those lingering wastes that get attached to your intestinal tract. Some of the other health benefits that you can expect to see from the use of this yellow dock root are things like enhancing bile production to help to break down fatty foods, improving the flow of bile and other digestive juices. It's actually behaving as a mild diuretic and laxative to help to get rid of some of those toxins that get stuck in your body, and the inclusion of the iron as a constituent within the ingredient is important because it's promoting the absorption for optimal blood health. One last ingredient that I want to talk about within this particular product is fennel seed. Fennel seed is another phenomenal ingredient. It's believed to help to inhibit some of the spasms that might occur during a digestive cleansing type program. Again, helping to promote a more soothing response. It's also believed to help to soothe the intestines. And here's the thing that's interesting. Unlike many other weight loss systems that you might find in the market that might be willing to stop with just this obviously impressive product here, our cleansing capsule, we weren't content to stop with just this. We've paired this impressive product with two additional products. We have our Superior Fiber Blend. This is truly, it's a phenomenal product. It's providing a number of different benefits. One might argue that it is a powerful cardiovascular ally in that it's delivering 5 grams of fiber, and there's over 2 grams of plant sterols in every dose. But it's also a significant digestive enhancer and a powerful weight loss ally in that it's got a number of bulking agents like those you see mentioned on the screen, the guar gum, the psyllium husk, the apple pectin, and the carrot fiber to help to keep your colon in tip-top shape and to behave to some extent as a natural appetite suppressant, helping to curb your appetite and provide a feeling of fullness. So you're not quite as hungry, and maybe you can push away from the table a little bit sooner with some food still left on your plate. There's also a dose of arabinogalactin. Rick Deitch loves to say that word. It always makes me laugh when I hear him say it. Arabinogalactin is a word that you should be familiar with, and if you're not, it's one you want to pay attention to because it behaves as a prebiotic. It's helping to stimulate the growth of beneficial bacteria and inhibit the growth of harmful bacteria, helping to give your immune system a boost. And the health of your immune system is obviously really important because that's going to determine your overall health. There's also those that believe that arabinogalactin it has an ability to help to balance out your immune system during a time when you're facing a great deal of stress. So again, a phenomenally impressive and important product in your effort to be cleansing either debris that is impacted, stuff that just hasn't finished processing from your colon, or just an effort to try and improve the health of your liver. The last component within this cleanse program is our natural cleanse tea. Again, another phenomenally impressive product here, containing ingredients like senna leaf and dandelion root. There's lemongrass. There's rhubarb root. It's the combination of all of these ingredients that provide, again, a gentle purging action to help your body rid some of that impacted debris that is. So it's the combination of these three products: the cleansing capsule that we spoke about, the fiber that we just discussed, and now the cleanse tea that truly help to clear out your colon, to scrub the intestinal wall, to support the health of your digestive system, which obviously includes your liver, and to help to promote your body's fat-burning and nutrient-absorbing potential. Just to kind of give you a quick overall idea of how you would be using this Cleanse Start program, this Cleanse Start program is a 7-day program. As you would start your weight loss program, we would strongly encourage that you start with this particular system, just kind of to ensure that you're moving out of the way anything that might impede your body's ability to benefit from either the ingredients that you add to it, the more smart food choices that you make, the exercise, all of those things. You want to start with a program like this. Again, it's something that you would use for 7 consecutive days. And you can certainly repeat this as often as you like, but you need to cycle off because we've got some pretty powerful ingredients like that Piscaris sagrada that we talked about and senna and other things like that. So your body really needs a break afterwards because it's really such a comprehensive program. Essentially what you'd be looking at here, that cleansing capsule that we talked about first with that very, very robust formula, you'd take 1 to 3 capsules of that every day for a period of 7 days. You can take them all together. You can take them at different times. If you're someone that has been that is not familiar, or it's been a while since you've done any kind of cleansing protocol, you might want to start with 1 capsule a day and kind of build yourself up with it. But it's a phenomenally robust and powerful product. The Superior Fiber Blend that we talked about a few minutes ago that have some pretty incredible bulking agents and includes 5 grams of fiber with each serving. That's something that we'd like to see you do at least, I'd say at least once a day, 30 minutes before your largest meals. If you really want to maximize the benefits and you want to try and expedite some of the results, you can do this even 30 minutes before 2 of your meals. Now, the main reason that we're recommending that you do this before your meal is just because of the matrix of fibers. What's actually going to happen is if you allow your body to 30 minutes for the fiber matrix to start to work, it's going to naturally kind of deplete to some extent, or at least decrease your appetite. So when you sit down, you're going to eat less. It will encourage you to eat less because your body's just quite frankly going to feel full a bit sooner. And then the last component within this Cleanse Start 7-day program is a natural cleanse tea. And this is something that we would ask you to do every other day, only 4 times during that week's period. Again, if you're unfamiliar or not accustomed to any kind of cleansing process or haven't worked with a cleanse tea before, you would start by steeping this tea slowly, anywhere from a period of 1 to building up to 3 minutes. And this is probably something that we would recommend that you do in the evening as opposed to during the day, just because you're not sure how your body's going to be responding to this. But again, just one of the first of the three components of this system, a very important and instrumental component, because cleansing, quite frankly, I don't think people spend enough time cleansing. And
Right.
as we've seen, it has many benefits. I think you'd agree, David?
I agree. And but my question is, why 7 days? How do you arrive at that number?
Well, the main reason that we wanted to try and do it for 7 days is 1 to 2 days. Even 1 to 3 days, I don't think that you get the kind of benefit that you could from this kind of a program. First of all, everybody's body responds differently to the products. So for some people, they might have a digestive response within 4 hours or even 8 hours. For others, maybe it takes a little bit longer to try and really kind of push things through the colon and scrub out the digestive tract. I think the main reason that we've probably attached that 7 days to this is to ensure that we've allowed as much time as possible, a safe window given the ingredients, an effective time to really ensure that we've removed as much as we can from your digestive system to set yourself up for as much success as we possibly can. Does that make sense?
Makes sense. Thanks.
Okay. Very good. I'd like to move on to the next component within this system. That is the burn component. But first I want to take a minute talking about why burning is important. When we were first starting to look at this program and first investigating the ingredients and the components that would eventually become the WayFit program that we were discussing tonight, I was disgusted to learn that my ability to burn fat, slowed like 8 years ago when I turned 30. I mean, there are some, I suppose, that would argue that it happened even sooner than that, but that's pretty depressing, it's not just depressing that it's already slowed down, but I think the part that becomes even more frustrating is because it has slowed down, just your body's ability to be burning fat is also compromised. Now it's starting to store some of that fat for energy, and that, quite frankly, is what's contributing to that excess weight gain. And perhaps the most frustrating thing that you can appreciate just because of the slowing metabolic system is that the older you get, the more difficult it is to lose weight, which is why that story that we read earlier from Nancy, that young lady who's 60 years of age, is so doggone impressive that she was able to find success. Something else I'll mention to you about Nancy, Nancy's a young lady who she's not very active and does not enjoy going to the gym much, if at all. So for Nancy's protocol to be achieving the success that she saw with that near 40 pounds lost, it was a matter of she used the products religiously. She tried what she could to make smart food choices, and, she would go to the gym maybe to do some water aerobics once or twice a week, and she saw some pretty phenomenal success. Now, speaking about some of the success and the benefits, some of the benefits that you can expect to experience from the use of the weight loss product, that is the burn product specifically, is you're going to see an increase in energy and stamina. There is a boost of metabolism. There is a suppression of cravings. You're going to have an improved appetite control. Some of the other people that have just started to use this weight loss program, the pilot study was done over a year ago, but we didn't until recently actually make the products available. And for the folks that have started to use the products, it's been interesting to me, some of the calls that we've been receiving recently. I had a gentleman that I spoke to even today that said to me, I've used a number of weight loss products in the past. What really impresses me about your burn product is not just that I feel it, and not just, that I have confidence in knowing that it's helping me to burn fat, but I am finding this incredible mental clarity that I just didn't expect. He said, not to mention, I've got to be candid with you, and that's, I've been dealing with issues with depression for almost 15 years now. And, most Monday mornings when I get up, it's all I can do to get out of bed, to sit at the computer and to go about doing my business. But for some reason, after I've started taking this system, I'm finding that I don't need to try to find a reason, to get up in the morning, that I've got a lot of energy, I'm not depressed, I'm excited, and, I've got this overall sense of general well-being. So
that's impressive. That's impressive. Well,
yeah.
How do you explain that from from the ingredients here?
That's a fantastic question to ask. There's a number of ingredients that are contributing to some of the things that we've mentioned. You know, as it relates to the increased metabolism and things of that nature, that obviously we can contribute to the EGCG and some of the caffeine sources that we're going to talk about. You can even argue that the addition of the white willow bark is helping to add to some of that success. But you know, we believe that it could be a combination of the ginseng or even the golden root that may be providing some of that general sense of well-being. You know, some of that stress-reducing benefits that, you know, as this gentleman happened to have mentioned. Going back to that mental clarity that I was speaking of, you know, we believe it's probably the guarana that is helping to contribute to that type of a benefit. But let's delve a little bit deeper into some of these ingredients and talk about what you might find as benefits from each of the 6 or so things that we just outlined as being the key story to this fat-burning product. The first is the EGCG and the green tea. Now, green tea obviously contains a number of powerful antioxidants, but the one in particular that's helping with fat burning is this EGCG compound. And one of the things that has been discovered, and we're going to talk about this in just a short while, is EGCG is providing some pretty significant benefits when it's combined with other natural sources of caffeine. You know, EGCG is believed to stimulate the central nervous system, and it causes fat to be released into the bloodstream for the body to use as fuel. And obviously, this is going to help to enhance any kind of fat-burning benefits. You know, this process of fat being used as energy, this thermogenesis that is being experienced by the use of the EGCG is helping to provide a lift to energy. It's helping to shed excess water, and certainly it's also helping to burn fat. You know, although caffeine can certainly provide some enhancement to metabolism, it's the combination of caffeine with the EGCG that's providing what we believe are significantly more long-term benefits with weight loss than just the caffeine alone. Speaking of caffeine sources, I want to talk a minute about yerba mate. You know, yerba mate has been used for centuries and was actually consumed as a traditional tonic and natural stimulant beverage. It contains over 250 natural compounds, including alkaloids like caffeine and theobromine and other things of this nature. You know, some of these constituents are believed, again, to be supporting the central nervous system. It's believed to help to suppress the appetite, to increase the rate at which calories are burned, and to increase to some extent urination, which is helping again to reduce overall water weight. So another fairly impressive ingredient. Moving on to another important caffeine source is guarana, and this was the one that I had mentioned that we believe is responsible for some of the mental clarity that we're seeing experienced. You know, when we were looking at what kind of naturally occurring caffeine sources we wanted to include in this product, we couldn't help but pay attention to guarana, especially because, you know, with some of the studies that we were reading, guarana appears to be 2.5 pounds stronger than the caffeine that you might find in your coffee, and your tea, and your soda. Although unlike some of these other sources of caffeine, you know, you won't have to worry about that spike and that drop that is experienced with some of these other sources. You know, there's also believed to be this slow release benefit, so you can enjoy the benefit of the product over a significant period of time. Some of the active constituents of guarana, like what we were talking about with the theobromine from the yerba mate, are not only have an increasing metabolic rate and a suppression of appetite, they're also believed to enhance the physical and the mental performance, which again goes back into that mental clarity that we talked about. You know, there's some belief that it provides an increased mental alertness. You know, that it's helping to fight fatigue, to increase stamina. Obviously, a number of things that are phenomenally impressive. And certainly, while each of these caffeine sources are impressive in their in their own regard. What we think is even more impressive, as I mentioned before, is when the EGCG and the caffeine is combined. Caffeine alone isn't going to do the trick because it's only going to benefit the body for as long as it remains in the body. As soon as it is excreted or otherwise naturally removed from the body, you no longer have the aid or the benefit of the caffeine. But there is some belief by a number of studies that exist now that when you combine EGCG with caffeine, you've got a home run in your hands, because what you're looking at is over 24 hours of energy and fat-burning potential, which I don't think you can argue that something like that is pretty incredibly impressive. I'd like to take a minute to put in perspective the caffeine that you can expect from the product. Let's start by comparing the caffeine that you would have in let's say a Mountain Dew versus a single capsule of our WayFit Burn product. The Mountain Dew is responsible for about 60 milligrams of caffeine. A single capsule of this Burn product is going to deliver about 62.4 milligrams of caffeine. Moving on to a daily dose, and by daily dose what I'm talking about is up to 3 of our Burn capsules. A 16-ounce energy drink, like your Red Bull, is going to deliver about 160 milligrams compared to that 187.3 milligrams of caffeine that you would have delivered in that 3 capsule. And then in your daily dose, a 16-ounce cup of coffee that you might find in your local coffee house is going to deliver about 320 milligrams of caffeine. A single daily dose worth of our Burn product is going to deliver about 375 milligrams. Now here's what's important. As we mentioned before, the type of caffeine that is being included in this Burn product, these are naturally occurring caffeine sources. The caffeine, like the guarana that we just talked about, can be 2.5 times more effective, more powerful than the caffeine that you would have in your coffees and your teas and your energy drinks without that rise and that spike. And obviously, unlike all of the caffeine-sourced beverages that we see on the screen here, be it your soft drink, your energy drink, or your coffee, your caffeine that is derived from the Burn products certainly does not include any cream. There's no sugar in it. There's nothing to add any additional calories onto your system. So certainly that's a significant benefit. I just want to take a minute to mention a few other ingredients that we started to touch on. This white willow bark is pretty impressive. Initially when I saw that it was a part of this product, I was like, wow, this is awesome. This is an ingredient that behaves as a natural pain relief. It's gentle. Aspirin is based in great extent to how this white willow bark how this white willow bark behaves. But it's actually been added to this formula because it's believed to extend or increase the thermogenic properties of some of the other ingredients that have been included in it. The ingredient, the white willow bark by itself, doesn't offer any fat-burning potential, but when it's combined with the caffeine and the EGCG, it is believed to elevate the energy expenditure and to promote some of the fat-burning properties that a product like this WayFit Burn product would deliver. Real quick here's ginseng root, a naturally occurring antioxidant. Its use dates back to Chinese medicine. I mean, even the botanical name Panax means all healing. It's been used for a restorative tonic for over 5,000 years to increase energy and stamina and well-being. Some recent studies, though, have showed that ginseng is able to help you in combating problems with your weight by preventing some of the cells from actually being able to store fat as energy. So it's interrupting the body's ability to store fat to help you to reduce some of that fat that could possibly accumulate on your body. And it's also interesting to note that it's actually being used by a number of athletes to promote strength and endurance. two more ingredients I just want to take a quick minute to mention here, the golden root. As David, as you and I had talked earlier, and I mentioned the gentleman that called that said that he had been dealing with depression, and he couldn't understand why, in addition to seeing some fat-burning potential and experiencing alertness, he was also, for some reason, having this bit of this better sense of well-being. He felt less stressed, and his depression, that heavy cloud that seemed to hang over him seemed to be alleviated. We believe that to some extent it might have something to do with this golden root. This golden root has quite a significant history of use. It dates back to the Vikings. It was used to enhance their physical stamina and strength, and has been used in traditional medicine, primarily in Russia and Scandinavia and other folks in the north to treat fatigue and to promote physical endurance. It's behaving like an adaptogen to help the body to adapt, to return to normal function after stress, perhaps even like what that gentleman, as I mentioned earlier, seemed to be encountering. In recent history, it's being used by some Russian athletes and even cosmonauts to increase energy. And the last component that I just want to make mention of real quick is an amino acid L-carnitine here. Again, a naturally occurring source. This is believed to be playing a pretty pivotal role into energy metabolism, and it's believed to help to break down calories. When you combine all these things, you've obviously got our WayFit Burn product. Quickly, how to use this product, much like the cleanse capsule that we talked about earlier. You've got an opportunity here to kind of regulate and to dial your dose according to what would work best for you. You'd be looking to take 1 to 3 capsules somewhere within an hour of eating breakfast and lunch. Now, there's a couple things that I want to make mention here. I said 1 to 3 capsules. You do not want to exceed 3 capsules. There's some naturally occurring caffeines, as we discussed earlier, a pretty significant amount. So, and these are safe dosages, so we definitely don't want to see you increasing it. It's also important, given that you're talking about 375 milligrams of naturally occurring caffeine, you want to pay attention to any additional caffeine that you might be consuming. In fact, we we wholeheartedly would like to encourage you to decrease your caffeine consumption when taking these products. If you enjoy your morning cup of coffee, please turn to a decaffeinated beverage or dial down the dose of this Burn product, because it's an awful lot of caffeine to take into your body. Second of all, if you, like the cleansing product that we talked about earlier, if you're not accustomed to taking caffeine, or your body doesn't tolerate caffeine well, we would strongly encourage that you start slowly with your dose, and increase gradually. And the last thing that I want to mention, and this is extremely important because I do not want to be responsible for contributing to sleepless nights. You definitely do not want to take this product after 2 o'clock, purely because of the naturally occurring caffeine that's in it. The last component in our program is our meal replacement, as you see illustrated here by the chocolate and vanilla products, or the chocolate and vanilla cartons.
Hey, Robin.
Yes, sir.
Don't feel rushed, okay? We want to make sure you treat this well, so don't feel rushed. Just take your time and explain the process.
I appreciate that very, very much, David.
Sure.
The last component, as I said, is our meal replacement, and this we felt was a critical and important element to make sure that we added to this program, because, quite frankly, one of the first things that people have a tendency to do when they're trying to lose weight is to cut calories. And while to some extent that is accurate and something that you want to do, you absolutely positively have to be careful that you don't cut so much that you aren't giving your body what it needs. Your body requires nutrients for every single thing that it does, from burning fats to staying healthy, to preserving lean muscle mass, to fueling your workout, to ensuring that your systems and your organs perform properly. As I said, one of the quickest ways for you to slow down any effort with any program, any product, anything that you're trying to do to lose weight, one of the slowest ways to slow it down is to skip a meal or to skip on the nutrients, because the nutrients are key to unlocking that potential for weight loss. The last part is, we often say life happens, and we kind of alluded to this earlier when we talked about why it's important to have flexibility in a program. Life does happen. You know, you'll sometimes find yourself in a situation where you do have to grab a meal on the go, or maybe you don't even have time to grab a meal. You just need to get something to be putting something into your body. So, you know, given that, this seemed to be an ideal type of a product to be delivering. There's a number of benefits that you can expect from the product. First of all, it is absolutely positively delicious, and it's important for me to mention this to you for a number of reasons, none the least of which is when we were first looking to develop this program, I bet you we spent about a year developing the formula, just looking at the formula and not even doing anything with the taste profile, because we knew there was a certain kind of robustness that we wanted to deliver. But then we spent a lot of time, like I said, almost 12 months, trying to make sure that we got this taste down right. You know, as you can appreciate, you know, anybody can take a shot of a 1-ounce beverage and can probably swallow it without gagging. But when you're talking about consuming, you know, 8 to 10 ounces of a beverage and something that you want people to take every single day, it's not enough that it tastes okay. It's got to taste great. And that's why it was really important for us to spend a significant amount of time making sure that we got this taste perfect. There's a really robust nutritional profile. You know, there's over 19 vitamins and minerals that are very impressive. You know, there's over 20 grams of easily digestible protein, and there's actually 4 different sources of protein here that we're going to talk about. There's rice, there's whey, there's milk, and there's soy. You know, and something else is this is a product that is high in dietary fiber. There's over 5 grams of fiber. It's also gluten-free, which is obviously important, and the fact that it is delivered in individual serving packets makes it very convenient for you to go running out the door with it to have that meal on the go. Moving on to some of the ingredients that I want to talk to you about, the soy protein, the whey protein, the inulin, and the fructooligosaccharides. Now, how's that for a mouthful?
Yeah.
The soy obviously is a phenomenally important ingredient. You know, it's naturally occurring, it's low calorie, it's low carb food. But there's many doctors and researchers that have recently been documenting some additional key properties to soy that helps it in its fight against weight loss. You know, one study by doctors at the university at Iowa State University showed that consuming soy protein, which obviously is rich in isoflavonoids, helps decrease fat deposits. You know, while increasing muscle mass. Now, this is extremely important, as lean muscle mass, even at rest, burns 17 more calories than the same amount of of burning that could occur with fat tissue alone. You know, soy is also helping to decrease the amount of fat your body stores. With soy, you can convert less calories into fat from the foods you eat. You know, soy is also good at controlling insulin levels, and as we talked about earlier, you know, that certainly helps to reduce some of the sugar cravings that you experience, helping to keep those unhealthy sweet binges at bay. The fact that it helps to increase your muscle mass is really important. You know, your muscles burn energy in the form of calories for daily maintenance and during exercise. So increased muscle mass is going to help to burn calories on a daily basis, even if you're not exercising, meaning that there's a possibility to be losing weight even when you're sitting around. Moving on to the next form of protein, whey protein. You know, it's naturally occurring. It's going to help to support satiety, giving you a feeling of fullness. You know, it's helping to improve insulin sensitivity. You know, it's optimizing your muscle mass in much the same fashion as the soy protein that we discussed previously. It's also helping to reduce stress, and is promoting a feeling of general well-being. The inulin, again, another phenomenal ingredient here, like the other probiotic that we had discussed. This is a phenomenal product, you know, in that it's able to help your body to be producing friendly bacteria to help your digestive tract, while helping to discourage the growth of some of the bacteria that's not so friendly that could potentially inhibit not just the growth, not just the health of your digestive system, but could potentially compromise even your immune system. There's a number of clinical studies that have shown that the ingestion of insulin is able to significantly increase the absorption of calcium and magnesium. And as you can appreciate, this is pretty significant. Given the what it could mean for bone density just by its use.
Right.
This is obviously particularly important for dieters who often find themselves on a low-carb diet, because you run the risk of depleting a supply of calcium and potentially, having a negative effect on bone density. It's also believed to increase the absorption of B vitamins, which obviously B vitamins are helping in the pursuit of fat burning and thermogenesis. And moving on to the last ingredient for the meal replacement, fructooligosaccharides. My God, that's a mouthful to try and pronounce. Again, another naturally occurring ingredient. Again, a phenomenal probiotic. This has been popular not just in the U.S. but also in Japan. I guess even before the 1990s. Again, it's helping to encourage the growth of healthy bacteria in the large intestines, increasing the health of your gastrointestinal tract. Again, another ingredient that is promoting the absorption of calcium. Something I want to take a minute to mention to you. There was an interesting exercise that I challenged myself with recently as we started our initial calls talking to folks about the meal replacement specifically and how it stacked up against other products in the market, even mainstream shakes like what you're seeing here, whether it's your Special K protein shake, your Slim Fast, your Carnation Instant Breakfast, your Ensure products, and your Boost. I felt it was really important to take a minute to see really how it compares. As you start taking a look at the screen, the number of calories versus the calories from fat. You'll find we've got significantly less calories from fat in this product. As you look across and you follow across the cholesterol, you'll find there's 0 milligrams of cholesterol in our product versus anywhere from 5 to 10 milligrams of cholesterol that you find in your mainstream products. Again, there's that dietary fiber that we talked about earlier. There's a few products certainly within this matrix that include fiber, but then you've got your Carnation Instant Breakfast, your Ensure, and your Boost that don't contain any. Then you come down and you're looking at some of your sugars, and you follow this across and you're looking at your Carnation Instant Breakfast that has 39 grams of sugar in it, or 21 grams of sugar in an Ensure drink, or 27 grams of sugar in your Boost product. Again, looking at one of the things that we think make this meal replacement pretty significantly superior to other products in the market is the amount of protein that it delivers, and there's no contest here. You've got 20 grams of protein in the shake that we're delivering, compared to 10 grams that you're going to see in Special K, 12 grams that you're going to see in your Ensure, and the 14 grams that you're going to see in your Carnation Instant Breakfast. Unlike any of the other products in the market, we've got that combined source of protein. Someone asked me recently why we took the time to include 4 different sources of protein. And, one of the main reasons that we look to try and do so is the sources of protein respond at different rates. You've got some that go to work very quickly, and then you've got some that are considered kind of medium acting, and then you've got some that are slow acting. And for this very reason, we were looking at trying to combine the sources of protein. Consider making one person responsible for a project, or 4 people, and kind of dividing and conquering. By dividing and conquering your effort to lose weight, and by including this meal replacement, essentially what we've done is we've provided a protein that goes to work immediately, to satiate that craving that you might have. For me, the craving, it's all about chocolate. So the Dutch chocolate formula works great for me, and there's a protein that goes to work immediately to help to put that craving at bay. Then you've got something else, another protein that kind of marches in and kind of continues that satiated effect, so that when you sit down at your next meal, you're not gorging yourself. You've got another protein that comes in that's providing fuel and energy and stamina to help you to get through your workout. And then you've got that last source of protein that's going to come through, and it's going to help you to preserve that lean muscle mass. So there's some pretty significant benefits that you can see from this meal replacement. Again, it's providing a host of vitamins, and you're seeing some of those across the board here. We've got some A vitamins and some B vitamins that we've included here. Here's some more B vitamins, and you've got C, D, and E. You've also got some macro minerals, your calcium, your magnesium, your iron, and things like that. And then, of course, we've got the probiotics, the inulin, and the fructooligosaccharides, which, as we've demonstrated, are really helping to increase the way that your body is digestively able to respond and to benefit from the product. Something else, obviously, that's important to mention is, you're not looking at sucralose or some of those other unpopular sweetening agents. This happens to be a gluten-free product. The soy that we mentioned previously is a non-GMO modified soy, so there isn't any concern for having any kind of genetic modifications to it. So it's a very impressive product. Again, it's certainly one that's really easy to use. As I mentioned before, you've got it's packaged in individual serving packets, so you literally just need to tear it open and mix it with whatever kind of beverage suits your fancy. One test for us to demonstrate truly how great this product was is if a formula tastes good in water by itself without mixing any milk or anything else in to kind of camouflage the flavor, it's a great product. And that's precisely what we found with the shake. We would recommend that you would start your morning with a shake at the very least. I think the majority of people, myself included, have a tendency to go rushing out the door just because I find that my morning has gotten away from me and I just don't have time to have a smart breakfast. And as we know, what you do first thing in the morning really sets the tone for how your metabolism is going to work throughout the day. So we would recommend that you would take the product first thing in the morning. You could certainly also add it again sometime, whether it's for lunch or again for dinner, to help to expedite the results that you might see from the program. Once again, obviously we've discussed three different components. The first was that cleanse step that we discussed earlier that's really maximizing the performance of your digestive system. It's focusing on what's going on with your intestinal tract, trying to improve the health of your colon and ensuring that your metabolism is working as efficiently as it can by improving the health of your liver. We also obviously talked about thermogenesis and why fat burning becomes increasingly difficult as we age. So having a natural fat burner to help us in our efforts to battle the bulge is certainly beneficial. And obviously the last component that we discussed was this meal replacement. So these are the components for the system. Just one last final note here, just to kind of give you an idea of what a day in the life of this system might look like for you. As we mentioned before, that cleanse system is something that you would only do for a period of 7 days. The cleanse capsule is something that you can take either one capsule 3 times a day, or you can take 3 capsules all at once. The fiber you do once to twice a day, and then that tea is something that you'd be doing every other day. The items that you're seeing demonstrated kind of above that shaded area, like we just talked about, that cleanse, that fiber, and that tea, those are stuff that you'd only be doing for a period of 7 days, and then you'd be focusing your efforts on the burn products and the meal replacements. And again, those would be things that the burn and the meal replacements are things that you would continue using on an ongoing basis. And that, in a nutshell, folks, is a system. I know it's an awful lot of information that we discussed here tonight. I apologize that we went through it fairly quickly. I wanted to make sure that you had the opportunity to benefit from the information, and I'm sure that you've got some questions. So I want to make sure to afford you the opportunity to ask whatever questions you might have.
Absolutely. Well, this has been great. A lot of information. Now, what kind of a doctor did you say you were again?
Yeah, don't I wish? Yeah, no. I leave that part to the experts.
But you oversaw the development of this entire system, right?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. We worked with a number of biochemists to try to develop each of the individual products. And I mean, as you can well appreciate, there are thousands of weight loss products out there. So instead of trying to throw a whole bunch of different solutions, the stuff that people might find attractive, what we really try to do is to step back and to understand what causes people to gain weight, and then basically to construct a program based on those factors.
Well, this certainly seems to have been a lot of thought and research that has been put into this, and I congratulate you. I know this is going to be a really great success for your company and help for people around the world. So thank you again for taking the time to do this.
Thank you, David.
All right, folks. If you have questions, go ahead and type them in. I have questions of my own, but just remember the blue panel to the right of your screen is there for you to ask questions. Okay. My first question is obviously about the caffeine. I know you mentioned that it's a more natural caffeine, so it doesn't give you the spike that's something you take at the coffee shop would.
Right.
But it still seems like quite a large amount, and the reason for putting that much caffeine is to boost the metabolism, right?
That is correct. But in putting things in perspective, you could walk over to your local coffee shop and pick up a cup of coffee, one cup of coffee for one sitting, and one cup of coffee is 320 milligrams of caffeine. The 375 milligrams of caffeine that we're talking about aren't consumed at one setting. You would do the 375 milligrams would be a maximum dose. It's a dose that folks in our office have been using since last July without any issues whatsoever. So while the 375 milligrams may seem like a high amount, most people that drink coffee drink more than a cup of coffee.
Okay. The other thing about caffeine is that it also spikes certain. It increases things like your insulin in the body to some extent. Is that curtailed by the other products that you have?
To be honest, we did not observe any issues with insulin. That's not to say that it didn't happen, but there are other ingredients within the other products that are helping to kind of regulate what's going on with the insulin, so it might help to balance things out.
Got it. Okay,
but I honestly, I can't speak to any specific observations that we made with respect to any concerns or any problems with insulin.
Okay, well, that makes sense. And it's a good point you noted that if people take a lot of coffee, they probably wanted to step it down a bit while they're on this program, right?
Absolutely. I mean, the interesting thing to ask yourself, if you're someone that likes coffee, now I will tell you I love the smell of coffee, but I don't want to drink it. But for someone that enjoys coffee, you ask yourself, why do I drink it? Do I drink it because I enjoy the buzz, the mental acuity, the additional energies that it might give me? Well, then it would seem like a win to kind of switch your caffeine consumption from your caffeinated beverage to this burn product. If you're drinking the caffeine, or if you're drinking the coffee because you like the taste of it, then that's something entirely different. Hopefully you can find a non-caffeinated or decaffeinated source of that same blend that you enjoy, and again, get your caffeine from the burn product.
Got it. Okay. Cher, you want to go ahead and ask a question? Robin, if you don't mind, I'm going to take the screen back from you. Just put up that information slide again. And folks, thank you. And folks, this again, we're putting up the screen just so if you are interested in ordering, this is not a sales call or webinar, sales webinar. This is just primarily information. But there will be people who want to get these products, who want to take advantage of this. And so again, we're putting up our slide so to let you know how to get it. If again you are a member or you were invited by someone else who's a distributor, please get back with that person. We just don't want, we want to make sure everybody who has concerns and questions is well taken care of. And of course, you can enjoy the discount that a member would get without the responsibilities attached. Okay, Sherry, go ahead.
Okay, Robin. There's a couple questions about the kinds of sweeteners that are in the products. The first one is they're wondering if there's any artificial sweeteners used in the system at all.
That's a fantastic question to ask. I can tell you that in the vanilla meal replacement, there are no artificial flavors whatsoever. It's all natural flavors. With the chocolate, because we're working with kind of a very rich dark chocolate flavor, or very rich dark chocolate, there is right now a very small amount of an artificial sweetener. We just couldn't get the taste profile perfect. But I am already in the process of updating it with a completely natural flavorant source. Like I said, just as you can appreciate, sometimes when you're dealing with really rich, dark chocolate, it has a tendency to be very, very bitter. And so we had a difficult time kind of overcoming that bitterness. So we did have to go with a tiny amount of an artificial flavor, but we are switching to all natural flavor sources.
That's good. The other question about the sweeteners, it says, is the fructose high fructose corn syrup?
No, it's not.
That's good.
Yes. Is the caffeine safe for someone who has high blood pressure?
I'm really glad that you asked me that question, and here is going to be my disclaimer. If we've got anyone on the call that has any kind of medical condition or is any kind of undergoing any kind of doctor's care, what you should absolutely do is you should talk to your doctor before taking these products. You know, I am not a physician. Obviously, I don't have the benefit of knowing each individual's medical history, and I would be doing a huge disservice by making a recommendation to them without knowing what their situation is. So here's what I will say. As I indicated, we've got 9 people that we've had using the product. One of the individuals that we've had using the product, a very, very dear friend of mine, has had 2 very significant, very major cardiac events, and had great success using the product. He did not use the high dose of the product. He would use 1 to 2 of like the burn products, but went to his physician to talk to his doctor, provided the list of ingredients, and got the clearance to be able to use the product.
Good, good. So folks, remember to see your doctor about this. Here's a good question, and I was going to ask it myself. I know you've overseen most of the products that Wyora has come out with. Now, which obviously many people would use the other products as well. I'm thinking, well, would the zeolites, the natural cellular defense that you also produce, would this does this work well with this, like in the detoxification aspect? Does it
my
work
goodness,
well
absolutely. The NCD would be a phenomenal product to be adding to this mix. You know, the cleansing step that we talked about is something that we want to see you do for the first 7 days, and then to repeat it, you know, at the very least once a quarter, because there's certain foods and things that we come in contact with quarterly that start to build up over time. You know, consuming NCD is going to help on an ongoing basis to kind of rid your body of the accumulation of some of the toxins that you come into contact with. You know, even taking the Superior Fiber Blend more regularly than just that 7 days will help with that. And that natural cleanse tea, again, something else that would help you to enjoy a purging effect to help to rid some of the things that are building up in your your digestive system. So the long and short answer is absolutely there are other products that could be integrated into the system that would provide phenomenal benefit. We talked about a meal replacement, being a great product to be able to use to provide a significant nutritional profile, but the EDN is, again, another phenomenal product that's giving you some additional vitamins and minerals and trace minerals and other things that could only serve your body well as you begin efforts to try and lose weight. So there's a number of products that would be wonderful for you to explore to add to this weight loss protocol.
Great. Now, do you know of any of the interactions with medications like NSAIDs with the ingredients that you have in the system?
No, I can't speak to that.
Okay. Sherry?
Well, what does that EGCG stand for again?
EGCG is a naturally occurring constituent in green tea.
Okay. And then a question about exercise. Are there recommendations that you have as far as how much exercise people need to do to be successful?
Well, here's something that I will tell you. When we first did this pilot study last July, we were dealing with people of varying ages, varying sizes, varying health conditions, if you will, and varying athletic situations. Our first 6 weeks on this product, we really just tried to get them comfortable with the product and accustomed to using the product. We didn't have any focus on making drastic changes to the diet or even exercising, and yet we saw significant weight loss results. Now, do not misunderstand me. The minute that they started to see some results, this beautiful epiphany happened, in that what they started asking themselves was, wow, if I'm starting to experience success and starting to lose weight by using this product because my appetite is decreased and I'm making smarter food choices. What happens when I really invest myself in scaling back what I'm eating, paying more attention to the amount of food that I'm putting on my plate, and begin to add exercise to the equation? We've got one young lady, like I mentioned, Nancy. Nancy refused to go to the gym. She didn't want to have anything to do with the gym, but she would do water aerobics once, twice a week. I told you that there was the gentleman that had the 2 significant cardiac events. He wasn't in a position where he could go to the gym, but he would go and walk around his neighborhood, or he would get on a treadmill. What we're encouraging is, your efforts to lose weight should not stop with simply consuming these products. They're incredible products. They're going to help you to get success. They're going to put you in a place where you've got better control over the food that you're consuming, but you need to be smart about it, and you need to exercise good judgment when you're eating, and you need to begin to integrate some kind of regular exercise protocol. It doesn't have to be every day. It doesn't have to be an hour, but you need to find ways to slowly add it and then increase it as your energy and your endurance and your stamina and all of these other things increase. And I think what you're going to find is as the weight comes off, as the pounds decrease, as your clothes start to fit looser, you are going to be more encouraged to do these things to see how much you can push yourself to get even greater results.
I think that's very, very well said. Very, very well said, Robin.
Robin, can you buy the product separately, or do you have to buy them as a whole pack?
We do offer it separately, and yeah, you can absolutely buy that burn product separately. That cleanse system can be purchased individually, and those meal replacements can be purchased in each carton contains 15 meal replacements. So you can purchase it as a system or purchase it individually.
Great.
I just wanted to say something. Just wanted to add to what you said. I had mentioned at the beginning of this webinar that Gil Cates, the chairman of the company and the CEO of the company that does all this research on bone density, fat accumulation, and lean muscle mass. I mean, the point he was trying to make, and this just ties right on with what Robin just said, the point he was trying to make was that you don't have to become a gym rat to work on to be healthy. In other words, all you need to do is focus on increasing your activity, and that could be walking more instead of taking the elevator all the time. Just walking more, having a pedometer, something that you can do to track your activity. And what they found out is that just by increasing your level of activity, doesn't mean carrying weights or playing more football or soccer, but just increasing your level of walking and moving around, that really helps in your weight loss program and helping these other systems that you incorporate to lose weight, helps them work better. So just to tie into what Robin said. All right, here are a couple more questions. Are these products regulated by the NSF in order to validate its effectiveness? You know what that means, NSF?
Mm-mm.
Okay. No. Next question is, with regards to the vitamins listed present in the meal replacement products, are they present in other ingredients in the product already, or have they been added as further ingredients? If they have been added, is the specific source of the vitamins listed anywhere? For example, I'm wondering, what is the source of the vitamin B12? Wow, that's a long one.
It more than likely, it was derived by one of the ingredients that is being listed. I'm not sure that it was something that had been added. But all of the ingredients are listed on the product. You can go to the website to see a complete listing. But in terms of the specific source of the vitamin B12, David, I honestly don't know what that specific source was.
Got it.
Yeah, I don't think that there was a vitamin medley that was thrown in. I think it was derived from something else that was a naturally occurring ingredient.
Okay. And Sherry, any more?
It looks like she's covered all of them. People have just said thanks, great webinar. Somebody, NSF, good manufacturing practices.
That's CGMP. That's CGMP.
Yeah.
All of the manufacturers that we work with must be CGMP, or we don't work with them. And these products are no exception. You know, and there's even new GMPs that have gone into place this year that make the manufacturing of products even more stringent and even more regulated. So the folks that we were working with to manufacture the fiber that you saw, the tea that you saw, the cleansing capsules, the burn products, the meal replacement, all adhere to the strictest of good manufacturing practices and undergo regular certification to make sure that they are demonstrating and exemplifying the highest of standards.
Okay. This wasn't asked, but it often is because we have a lot of people from Australia. Do you ship the products to Australia?
I do believe that that we are in the ground in Australia with these products. I would have to check for certain, but I believe that that we've gone through the registration process. I'd have to double check and follow up with David just to be certain, but I believe that may be the case.
Okay, great. Well, again, Robin, thank you so much for taking the time. I mean, first of all, I love your voice, just so you know. And it has been very well. I mean, you've presented very well. The information has been very, very helpful, and I'm sure we're still going to get some questions after this webinar for sure. So thank you for being open to answering questions after the webinar, even though you're going to be busy for the rest of the week with the launch of this product. And I'm sure we're going to stay in touch for a little bit to keep this thing going, and we shall continue to encourage people about this as well.
I cannot thank you enough for the opportunity with you this evening. Thank you so very much to you and your listeners. It was an honor and a privilege to join you.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, folks, we're wrapping up for the night, and see you again on Thursday. Dr. Steve Sami is going to be talking about the chiropractic and the importance of good spinal alignment, and he's going to be showing some awesome three-dimensional photographs and pictures and animations. Thanks for joining us, and have a great night. Good night.
All right. Thanks again, Robin.
Good night.